This election's about one thing. It's about taking our lives back. It's about a working class that's been left behind for decades due to corporate greed and runaway greed at the top. And so, we have what we call our four core issues. And those are, a living wage. And that doesn't mean, a bare minimum. That means a living wage where when someone goes to work, no matter what work they do, they can live a decent life. Adequate health care for everybody. There's no excuse in the richest nation in the world that we don't have health care for everyone. It should be a right. Retirement security. Retirement security is a must. 60% of the people in this nation have no retirement savings, not because they're not responsible, but because they don't make enough money to save anything. And then the final thing is taking our time back, taking our lives back. I mean, many workers in the working class work 7 days a week, 12 hours a day, or 2 and 3 jobs just to scrape to get by. And that's not a life. So, working class people are fed up with basically working their asses off and generating all these massive profits for these companies and then being left behind. That doesn't work for us. So those, to me, are the core 4 things that got to happen in this country. Anyone that didn't support the PRO Act does not support working class people, in my opinion. And, that's got to happen. That's a must for us. But look, there's a lot bigger issues in this also. I mean, this is about taking on a billionaire class and a corporate class. And you look, inflation's a big topic, in this election. And I want to make one thing clear. The inflation wasn't driven by policy. The inflation we've suffered, the working class has suffered these last several years, was driven by corporate greed and consumer price gouging. They took advantage. The billionaire class and corporate class did what they do best when there's an emergency or a tragedy in this nation. They go to work to see how they can extract more wealth for themselves and leave workers further and further behind. And that's what happened. And so we need stronger regulations on business. We need stronger union rights for workers. 60 million Americans say they would join a union tomorrow if they had the opportunity. And when we did polling where we're organizing, Alabama, Tennessee, it was 2-1 in favor of the UAW. But why doesn't that translate into automatic wins? Because the companies break the laws, they willingly break the law, because there are very little consequences in the act of doing that. And so those are issues. You look at trade and border security. This border crisis, I call it a manufactured border crisis by the billionaire class. This is what they do best. Working class people have been left behind for decades, and they use race, they use they'll attack who somebody loves. Or now they're using the border crisis, which to me is what I call a humanitarian crisis. These people aren't what Donald Trump calls rapists and murderers and invaders. They're not invading our nation. These are destitute and desperate people trying to find a better life because just like the rest of the working class, they've been left behind. So that's what this is all about, and that's what we got to change. And I truly find it pathetic, when I hear Trump the scab talk about how he's going to bring back the auto industry and bring it back fast. When he was president, he didn't do a damn thing to help the auto industry. Plants were closing and left this country, and he did nothing to help it.